many things that make City Heroes such a great game is a huge variety of builds to choose from. But because of the grind, it's impossible to try them all out at 50. It's just too much grinding, and it's not feasible. Well, actually, it just might be. My name is Mez, and I'm going to show you how you can power level a 50 in City Heroes in 2 hours using a Spinespire Brute.
Powerful. And I got
If you don't know what farming is, farming just means leveling quickly. You farm the enemies on a map, harvesting them for their XP. There's multiple reasons why someone would want to do this. PvE reasons, you might just want to do the high level content. You might want to try out multiple builds. You might want to just get to level 50 that you had back on live. You just want to get IOs. Maybe you just like min-maxing. It also helps, you can level up your Incarnates if a friend PLs you or you PL them. But PvPers is probably where you're going to get the most utility out of something like this. This allows you to create a ton of builds and experiment, and you spend more time min-maxing and less time trying to farm in PvE. You're trying to farm yourself to 50. Farming is also the most effective way of getting influence recipes and salvage for builds. Many IOs can go from upward to 10 to 30 million or more. So why a brute? Well, brutes make great farmers for 3 reasons. They have a high damage cap. It's actually insane. Their damage cap is 775%. Most classes cap out around 300 to 400%. So they do tons of damage. They also have an extremely high resistance cap of 90%. Most classes cap out at 75. And they also have a great taunt aura. Tanks and brutes both actually have taunt aura, meaning enemies aren't going to run from you. They'll stay glued to you, which is ideal because you're going to be using burn patch. This is opposed to something like a scrapper who would have trouble holding aggro, as the enemies would probably just run around and they're not going to stay next to you. This also allows you to circumvent the aggro cap and allow you to tie up more enemies than usual. So I know a lot of you are going to be asking, why did we pick Spines and not something like Super Strength? Well, Spines is the best farming set in the game, period, on this map because of the huge DPS it gets from its 2 key attacks. Quills, which is a really strong damage aura, and Throw Spines, a cone that has a huge target cap. It also doesn't suffer from the weaknesses of Super Strength. Super Strength has Rage Crash, which sets your damage to minus 1,000. And also, Spinespire isn't going to benefit from rage stacking because you're already at the damage cap. So we picked Fiery Aura as a secondary because it has capped fire resistance and defense when you have a proper IO build. And you also get Fiery Embrace, which allows you to surpass Brute's already extremely high damage cap by adding additional fire damage to your attacks. Fiery Aura's key powers are Fiery Embrace, Burn, which is an amazing AoE attack, and Blazing Aura, which allows you to stack 2 damage auras together, Quills and Blazing Aura. For your patron power pool, you want to go Mew Mastery because it has access to the most AoE attacks of any of the sets. Not only that, the animations are extremely quick. For Incarnates, you want to go Musculature Core for the damage, Degenerative Core Flawless for the chance for toxic damage and then minus HP proc, Judgment Pyronic Core, which is a large targeted AoE that does extreme fire damage and has superior damage over time, Ageless Core Epiphany as your Destiny, which gives you plus recharge and plus recovery. And for your lore pet, you'll get Banished Pantheon Radial Superior Ally because the support pet has a Snowstorm AoE attack which aids in farming, and your pet can't be killed. For your hybrid, you'll get Assault Radial Embodiment, which gives your attacks a chance to do additional energy damage. You can find out more about how to get Incarnates on the Paragon Wiki. In the future, I might make a video specifically about Incarnates. For IO builds, I've provided a link in the description below for 2 Spinespire builds, one cheap and one expensive. The more expensive build uses stronger sets that will provide more damage, sometimes up to 2 times the amount, as well as additional damage via procs, recharge overall, and it will provide slightly more defense. To view these builds, you're going to need the updated Pines Hero Designer, which I also linked in the description below. The primary goal of both of these builds is to just cap out your resistance against fire and your defense against fire. You need high accuracy with this build as well because AoE attacks have a low base accuracy, 75%, and you're going to be fighting +4s. So to help out with the accuracy, we're going to be taking tactics and slotting in a Kismet plus AC proc to further supplement your AC. This just speeds up things in general. I know these builds might seem pricey, but you can actually start farming this map on your Spine's Fire around level 30, even without IOs. It won't be as fast, and you might have to lower the difficulty, but it'll give you some influence to help you start paying for your build. So now you have your Spine's Fire Brute, and you're ready to farm. First, we need to prep. Go to Atlas Park or Pocket D, they're generally the most convenient places to do this, and set your difficulty to +4 and ×8. You can find this option in the bottom right of your chat window. Go to the pay to win vendor on your farmer and click show me your wares. Go to inspiration drops and disable reject protection and resurrect. This disables the resurrect and break free inspirations from dropping on your farm missions, which helps with inspiration management, so you're not having to constantly delete them from your tray. Also, if you have the influence to spare, you can buy the offensive amplifier, which can be found in temp powers, buffs, amplifiers. It's a hour-long damage recharge boost that costs 1.5 million. If you're farming a friend, make sure they get the 2x XP booster from the pay-to-win vendor. They cost around 10 million. Make sure you do this when you're ready to farm because the buff only lasts an hour and it begins counting down immediately after purchasing the buff. After they get the ×2 booster, invite your friend and head over to the Architect Entertainment building. Ideally, you want to be farming up only one other person using this strategy. Any more and you will get less inspiration drops, significantly lower XP, and lower influence gain. I know you might be tempted to bring more, but mathematically it's just way less efficient. At the mission terminal in the Architect Entertainment building, search for Dan Petro and look for the map Story of a Real Big Dog. Look at these big dogs. This map is a close quarters map with fire damage dealing enemies, ideal for your Spine's Fire Brute. There's a timer, but it's really only used for managing your inspirations and looking at your pace. Make sure before entering, go to the Architect Inspiration vendor inside the AE building and buy inspirations. You'll want to get around 20 reds to help you stay at the damage cap. If you're not at 40% defense or you don't have a complete IO build or all your Incarnates, you're going to want to get some purples and blues too. When you're ready, enter the map and have everyone else follow in. Molobis are going to have to go run for cover behind the rocks because they're going to get two-shotted if they show their face. Before fighting, pop 8 reds, and if you don't have a complete build, you're going to need to pop a few purples too and run in. For your attack chain, always start out with burn, then electric fences, lightning ball, and spines burst, while using throw spines to fill the gaps in attack chains when needed. Make sure you're targeting mobs that are converging for more AoE action. Always kill minions and lieutenants first and move on to the next group, ignoring the bosses, because they're going to take damage naturally as you clear. You really just need to get those inspiration drops. They're the only thing that's going to be keeping you alive. After clearing the minions and lieutenants, clear the rest of the bosses that are following you. They should be low at this point. After killing most of the big mobs and bosses, or if you run out of inspirations, go click the glowy and you're done. That's all there is to it. Once back in AE, clear out your inspiration tray and rebuy what you need. When I did this, I didn't have Incarnates or a fully IO'd build, and I actually died the first couple tries, but eventually I got the hang of it and I was able to do a 8+4 run with kind of a bad build. If done optimally, you can get a level 50 in about 1:30, but most of the time it's going to take around 2 to 3 hours. The fastest it's ever been done using this build is 1 hour and 13 minutes by the legendary map creator himself, Dan Petro. You get around 10 million influence per run, which should help IO your other builds. You can also disable XP to farm massive amounts of influence as well. To disable XP, just go to your general options. When getting your Moo Mastery powers for your Brute, the fastest arc to do this is actually the Black Scorpion arc. Just put the difficulty to the lowest, -1 ×1, and the missions should be really easy to do. Use your autocomplete on the Defeat All mission. And that's all there is to it. This guide was made in issue 25, so much of this information could change in the future. If anyone else has any PL builds they think are as good as this, or better, say something in the comments. I'd love to know. If you'd like to see me make a video on a certain topic, you can let me know in the comments too, or on the COH PvP Discord. I'll be doing a lot of guides like this in the future for both PvE and PvP. If you like this video and you'd like to see more, subscribe and click the notification bell. If you want to help me make more videos like this in the future, you can donate through a link below. It makes a huge difference because these take a lot of time and effort. I also have a Patreon where you can get early access to videos just like this, and I'll also be posting any future PvP montages there. My goal with this video is to make PvP in City Heroes more accessible, so I hope you guys found this useful, and I hope to see you out there in the arena. I want to give a thanks to Dan Petro, Sillet, HP, Deadly Spiner, and the rest of the Vori crew.